Wrapping up on Sports Bet Betting Insight today, Pauly and Teddy. Time for the deep dive. Part 2, NFL preseason, how to beat it, how to bet it. All right, let's start here. There are 5 first-time coaches now. So we've got to pay special attention, close attention to what they say, because a lot of these guys, you saw what Doug Peterson did last year, but a lot of these guys want to win, especially at home. I think it's important to win in front of the home fans, Teddy.
Absolutely. So let's just identify the coaches. Of course, we have Vance Joseph in Denver, Anthony Lynn for the LA Chargers, Sean McVay for the LA Rams, Sean McDermott in Buffalo, and Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco. Now, Lynn, McDermott, McVay, they're all at home this week. Those tend to be bet on or pass type situations with a new head coach. But the ones I like best are a new head coach who returned home off a loss. Shanahan's on the road this week. If they lose, Denver has bet on potential next week. And Joseph doesn't get a home game until week 3. If they're 0-2 going into that game, they certainly have potential as a bet on team in that contest.
No, don't be worried. This is preseason only. Don't be worried about 3. Not really a key number here. You tell us what the key numbers are, Teddy, because the last thing these guys want is overtime. So the coaches are going for 2 to avoid putting it on 3.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yesterday on Sportsbet, we did preseason betting 101. We didn't get into the intricacies of what numbers really matter in August. These are what numbers really matter. +3, -3, not important, not relevant, not something you want to pay for. You know, the markets oftentimes still look at a +3 or a -3 like they do in the regular season, but you don't see tie games in the fourth quarter because when you have a tie game in the second half and somebody scores, they're going to go for 2. The key numbers in games where coaches don't want overtime, ±1, ±2. Those are the quote-unquote key numbers in preseason. Huge difference between -2.5 and -1 in August. Figure the difference between -2.5 and -3.5. 1s and 2s, the numbers you want to watch for.
Are you always talking about cluster injuries here? Look for the cluster injuries on the O-line, the D-line, the secondary, and wide receiver position.
Yeah, sure. And I mean, and the teams that are injury riddled in general can be a big problem in August. One team I've got my eye on as a potential bet against this month is going to be the Baltimore Ravens. No team has had a worse training camp in terms of injuries. No team can afford additional injuries less than Baltimore. Their number one priority has to be keeping guys healthy and keeping guys safe. So when you see these cluster injury problems, and this is something when you're looking for those coaches' quotes, yeah, we got a problem on our offensive line. Oh, our secondary's all banged up. These are very meaningful quotes in August. Pay attention to them moving forward, and you can make yourself a few bucks.
All right. Explain why the backup quarterback battle is more important than the starting QB battle.
Well, I mean, that's the funny thing is that the markets are going to always react to, oh, the starting QB battle, you know, Savage Watson for Houston as a prime example, that the starting QBs are going to get all these reps and everyone's primed to win and play their A game. That's great. But the starting QB and his and the guy he's battling for the job with, they're not going to be in the game after halftime. They're not going to be in the game when the point spread results are decided. That's why the real battles for the number 2 job, probably better ATS than the battles for the number 1 job at the QB. Then you have your second string and your third string firing away in the second half of these ball games, or, you know, after the first quarter of these contests, and you get them moving against the second and third string defenses. You know, a starting QB battle, sometimes the pressure's too much. Those second and third string battles, that's where you can expect lots of opportunities for those quarterbacks to make plays because the coach has got to see what they can do. And of course, those are the opportunities that are largely going to take place in the second half. I'm always looking for, you know, a second or third string QB battle come August. Those tend to be bet on teams.
All right, back to the web discussion. Here's your mobile quarterbacks making a difference with the third string offense.
Yeah, it makes all the difference in the world, Pauly. It really does. When you have a QB who can create something out of nothing, and that means he's mobile. That means a guy who can scramble on 3rd and 7 when everybody's, you know, nobody's open downfield, and he can juke and make a move. That's huge because the guys who are statues, the drop back passers in the pocket, the third string offenses are ugly. They really are. The blocking isn't there. The route running isn't there. A mobile quarterback in the second half, and particularly in the fourth quarter of these games, makes all the difference.
You've been doing this a long time. How do you decipher Coachspeak?
It's an interesting question, and it's a good question, Paulie. And then there's no how do you decipher it? What you do is you read and then you watch, and you read and you watch. Belichick's a great Coachspeak guy. You're trying to decipher what is he saying, what does he mean. I'm always, some of the quotes. I'm always, oh, we're working on competition this week. That means everybody's going to play, and you're going to get the guys who are going to get cut next week getting ample playing time in the second half. But a lot of those little nuances, how do coaches describe something? How do they describe their player rotations? If you pay attention over the years, you'll get a pretty good read on what these coaches are trying to do, even when they're not actually saying it. This is what I'm trying to do. So deciphering Coachspeak, it does take some time, but I'm telling you, it is a worthwhile endeavor. It's something you want to try to do to win in preseason betting in August.
How many times do you lay more than 2 points?
Sometimes I will, but here's the key. If you're laying more than 2, and 2, of course, 1 and 2 are the key numbers. More than 2 is too much unless you have a real reason. And that means you need a bet on reason for the one and a bet against the other. You'll find spots like this where there's a legit bet on and a legit bet against, but that's the only way you're going to catch me laying more than deuce in a preseason game. A team that's not going to show and a team that's definitely going to show in order to get to the window with what I call higher points. Especially look at these weak numbers. Not a whole lot of games lying higher than 2 or 2.5.
Hey guys, for the full video, go to sbrpicks.com.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.